Hey everyone, welcome back to the another video. So, whereas in the last version, we were looking at the local implementation of using Git and the version control. In this lesson, we're gonna talk about how you can create a remote repository. Mm, so, a repository that hosted on somebody else's server or somebody else's computer by using GitHub. So, first thing first, we're gonna do what we have done in our previous video, but in this time we're gonna do it fast. So first thing I'm gonna do is to change the directory location here to the remote. To do that, let's split the screen. Oh my, this isn't working. I wish this will work now. Oh, good. Whatever, let's copy this and copy the path and change the directory. This is the time to test our skills that we have learned from the previous video. And the next step I'm gonna do is to turn my pages, mm, create a create a text file by using the touch command. What do you want me to create? Touch uh, file name is aj1.txt, and here I'm going to write something in that aj1.txt, and this will enable us to write some anything you want. I'm gonna write something like Ajay is a mighty guy. Okay, might guy is good. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is to initialize the git. So git init. This will do. Here you go. Initialize the empty git repository and ls minus a. This will show. This will show. And the next step is to add the file to the let's check out the status by using the git status. Here you go, this will say the file is in the red color. That means that is an untracked file. If you wanted to make this into the to into the staging area, what we're going to do is to git add and the test file name is aj1.txt. This will do. Now I'm gonna check its status. Here you go. Now it is in trackable position or the staging area. uh, the next thing I'm going to do is to, so it's in the staging area, so we'll be able to add the commits. To do that, I'm gonna use git commit minus m, and the message goes to be complete. This should be in present tense. I already discussed in our previous video, right? Complete chapter aj1. This good, right? Okay, so guess it's guess it's finished. So the next thing I'm gonna do is to check out my commits that's what in the current directory. To do that, I'm gonna do is to git log. This will show the what's called commits that we have done, and this one shows the current commit we're in, head that represents the head. And the next thing we're going to do is to add another two files in this. Let's add touch aj2.txt and touch aj3.txt, and write some code in it. code aj2.txt. uh, what do you want me to write? Aj is a good whatever. uh, Code aj3txt. Ajay is a bad boy. Hmm. This will do. So let's commit a message to commit minus oh my bad, git commit minus m, and message should be complete aj2 and aj3 whatever. Okay, and here you can see that nothing added to commit but untracked file. So I guess this won't happen. uh Guess I make a mistake, whatever. So first thing I got to do is to add both files into that staging area. To do that, what I'm going to do is to git add and dot represent. It will add the all the files inside the directory. So now check the status, git status. Here you go. So now I'm going to commit, git commit, and first check out the git log. You go, there's only one, so previous one isn't worked. And git commit message commit message is complete aj2 and aj3. So here you go. And I'm gonna check the git status is as also done. So git log, here you go. There were total two commits, and the commit we're in still is this one's the current commit we're in. And they represent the time we done and the author we have done, and the hash code this will be unique. And we have discussed about both of them or about this in the previous video briefly. So if you're not familiar with, look at the video. And next thing we're gonna do is to change. uh, we have already known by using this we can revert to the previous one, right? Or the first one we committed. So to do the first thing I'm going to do is to change the code. It's like let me tell you something like so mm, let's say, I've been working, and I fell asleep all of a sudden, and in a sleep I unaccidentally changed the file content. That is, here you can see this content to what is Bachita we I changed the content onto this one, and unfortunately this will be saved. And now if you look at it, it's now just nothing. I mean, it's worst, and it's unusable, not worst content. What is called
Daddy,
not usable, not usable, and I'm using my masterpiece. So, but fear not, because we have version control and we can enable Git. So I have nothing to worry. I actually revert the changes that I have made locally in my working directory. So the point you can use git status to see what you have modified. So I'm gonna use git status. Here you can see this is showing this it's been modified. So it's been saying there's nothing added to the and committed. And first of all, before I'm going to convert it into the revert into the previous one, I gotta check out the difference. I'm gonna use git diff and test name aj3.txt. Here you go. The green one is show the newly inserted text, and red shows deleted text. And here you can see if there is a few mistake, we can change that over there. But some other cases, it might be, it just you wanted to touch the new file, you just don't anything to do with, and you would much rather roll back to the previous version. So if you wanted to do that, then there is a command called git checkout. So let's use that. Git checkout, and file name is aj3.txt. So here you can see this has been changed to the previous one. So I hope you guys have understand and let's come into the main content. That is, now we're going to talk about the remote repository. So a repository that is hosted on somebody else's server or somebody else's computer by using GitHub. So let's go to the GitHub and create a new repository. You can see, mm, and name it as name it as whatever you like. I'm gonna name it as not remote, remote AJ. This will do, and I'll give some description. That is, you are my star. Okay, and by defaultly this will be a public. If you don't want it to, if you don't others to see it, you can make it private. But most of the cases, if you're doing is something secret, or you're making some new technology, then you can use private. Otherwise it will be nice, I mean, it will be good to use public. And other thing is, I'm gonna leave it as empty, this add readme file. And I'm gonna just hit the create repository button. And there you can see we got two options, that is GitHub in desktop and GitHub in the command line. I'm gonna use command line. So here you can see repositories are already existed. So we're gonna push the existing repositories from the command line to the by making the remote repository. To do that, we're going to use these three lines of code. The first thing I'm going to do is to git remote add origin. So let me copy this one, and I'm going to paste over here in this location. Mm, so let me check. And now that remote is called, so we can push our local repositories in our remote repositories. uh, Let me discuss some what is done. Let me check the commits that we have made. Git log. This will show the commits that we have made, and you can see the we got two previous commits, and I want to push both of these commits into the GitHub. To do that, the first thing I've got to do is to create a remote. So it's telling my local Git repository that I've created a remote repository somewhere in the internet, and I wanted to transfer all of my commits over there. To do that, I'm gonna use this command, and I've used it already. That is git remote add origin and the URL of the repository. So that one is already done. So the next thing I'm gonna do is to push the files. So we're gonna use the command that is git push and the minus u or the u option or the u flag, and the other thing is origin, and the branch name is here. You can see our branch name is master, but branch name is master, so I'm gonna give master. So which is basically links up the remote and your local repositories, and then we're going to push it towards the remote, that's called origin, and then we're going to push it to the branch that is called here it's that is master. uh, let's go to the let's go to the browser and refresh it. Here you can see our files all three has been successfully pushed into the what's called into where Mm, into the remote repository whatever, and here you can see press to two commits, uh, and whenever I press inside, this will represent the commits that I have done and the changes I've made, ch- showing the two changes files with the two addition and zero deletions, and complete age one. There isn't any change in this file. Here you can see there isn't anything as well. Mm, Ajay's bad boy. Ajay's a good boy. And when I'm going to the insights, when I press the network, here you can see our branch. This does have two commits. Whenever hover over it, it will show the message commit we have done. Message complete AJ1 and hits complete AJ2 and 3. So I hope you have understand the content that I. Mm, Let me show you that by using directories and yellow rectangle and remote image. Mm, this may make sense to you guys. First thing we're going to do is to we're in the working directory, and we're going to initialize the git, and after that we're going to add the files, and those files go into the staging area. After that, when we come here, those will go into the local repositories. When we push them into this one, and those will go to the GitHub repository that is called remote repository. So that's it for today, guys. And now in the next lesson, I want to talk about using Git Ignore and how you can avoid uploading sensitive piece of information such as API keys and passwords in your remote repositories. So all of that and more on the next lesson. See you there.